rocking.
Is this where the damn drumming and the music kicks in?
Yeah. Here we go. All right. We got it going. What is going on, everybody? Hello and welcome back to On the Pipe Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Shepardson, joined alongside Big Tom, Thomas Caldwell, to talk about all sorts of racing action going on in the world of off-road.
It's not popping up.
Try to refresh it. See what we got. As you can tell, we're still working out the kinks. Obviously, we're not in a fully built studio in the OTP headquarters. We are in my dining room once again. But you know what? We're going to make it work. Because hopefully... there we go. Trying to get it shared to the stories right now to let you guys know. We are a little bit late. I meant 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. I accidentally put Eastern Standard Time. So by that account, we're pretty much right on time. But you are just in time because today is Tuesday, February the 11th, 2025 years after zero, which means it is time for OTP Tuesday right here on the Pipe Podcast. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Couple big announcements, couple things going on. We got it all ready to go now. So, first of all, it is Big Buck opening weekend, or is it? I don't know. We are about an hour and a half away from Big Buck right now. It is coldy. It is cold. It is rainy.
Cody.
And we're heading into the first GNCC weekend of the season, the opening round. Will it be canceled? Will it not be canceled? To be determined. I, for one, personally, don't believe that they'll cancel it. What does that look for?
I forgot to tag myself.
Oh. But it is a possibility. Like I said, rain in the forecast all week long. I just got a media email from them today that we have a meeting on Friday. So willing to bet that everything is moving forward with it. But in the other news that we talked about it a few weeks ago. We're still getting things dialed in. Very happy to bring it to you now. If you follow us on the socials, you saw that we did split ways with Beta Motorcycles. Beta's been with us for 3 years. You've heard the ad reads. You've seen the videos. You've seen the pictures. And, just an opportunity came up. We ended up going after it. And I want to let everyone know that the presenting sponsor of On the Pipe Podcast is now Yamaha Motorcycles. Yamaha USA is coming on board to support On the Pipe Podcast. Super pumped about it, super stoked about it. And, been sitting on that one for a little bit. But like I said, we got everything dialed in. And excited to announce Yamaha as the presenting sponsor of OTP. If you have followed me for a while, when I started the show, I rode Yamahas my entire life. Everything I ever bought, everything I ever rode was, in fact, a Yamaha motorcycle. So also, I've probably turned down more products than I've actually advertised for on the show, because if it's not something I believe in, then I'm not going to go out and promote it with enthusiasm, because I don't think it's fair to you guys or anyone else involved. So Yamaha Motorcycles was a natural selection and a natural pick, because it is a product that I have always believed in and believe in going forward, obviously. So easy to get on board, because it is something that a brand that I know, a brand that I trust, and a brand that so many of you trust as well. I know there's a lot of Blue Crew riders out there in the woods, and probably a lot of Blue Crew. I get better at that part.
Yeah.
Listeners to the podcast, but no, we did the Yamaha press events last year and kind of started meeting the guys through that. Obviously, when I hit the deer and broke my leg, that was on a Yamaha as well. Every race I've ever raced in, except for I think 1 or 2, has been on a Yamaha. They are a company of racing enthusiasts. They support GNCC. They are the live drone camera sponsor. They are now sponsoring the meet. It was Monster Energy Activation Transport, the trailer thing with the speakers. Now it's something else because Monster Energy's not there. But anyway, now that's presented by Yamaha. And so, I mean, everywhere you look, Yamaha's investing into the sport. They came out with the FX and the X line of bikes specifically for off-road. They've obviously been a staple in motocross, supercross, that kind of thing. And now they're just as big of a staple in the off-road world. And they also do the cool press events and bring the media out, support the media, support the riders. They do the Blue Crew ride events and just all around great products, great machines, great people, great company. And so couldn't be more excited to announce Yamaha USA as the presenting sponsor of OTP. Actually heading down to the headquarters tomorrow, pick up a bike, see the shop, do all that stuff. But yeah, cat's out of the bag.
Brand new bike, you're going to take it to Big Buck and trash it in the mud.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
That will be the first time I ride it. Obviously, it's raining until then. So,
Are you going to get another Tanneray?
I have talked about it. So it's actually
You raced it at Big Buck or Bigger Buck or whichever one it was that time.
Yeah, so yeah, it was Bigger Buck, the Tiger Run. I actually rode my Tenere 700 from my house to the race, raced the race, and rode it home. But part of the press thing, like Damon Bradshaw, Ryan Villapoto, like they bring all these guys in, like all the engineers are there, riders are there. It's a really cool experience. But the first one I went to, I was like, hey, I just want to let you guys know I did my own R&D on the bikes. Like, here's where I creamed a deer on it. Like the bike was fine, my leg wasn't. So they all got a kick out of that.
Will you get to go to any of those events?
I think so. Hopefully. I don't know.
Cool.
They're probably listening to this, so if you need a guy, I'll be there. No, but it was kind of cool because I mentioned me riding to Big Buck and racing on it, and I actually did halfway decent. Like I just rode Trail Rider just because it was bone stock, like off the showroom floor, stock tires, stock suspension, everything. And I was running like top 5 in Trail Rider, and then the last lap, I was like, I do not want another lap of this. So I stood there and waited on Becca Sheets to come by and throw the checkered flag for me so I didn't have to do another lap.
Nice.
But
I've always thought that was funny because you do the same thing if you just pull off. You just ride through the finish.
Yeah.
And you pull off. It's the same thing as sitting there and waiting on the leader to lap you.
So working at Mid-East, I sit there and watch people do that all the time, and I yell at people about that all the time. Yeah. It's like the same thing. You're going to do better in the overall if you finish quicker.
Yeah.
And don't wait for the checkered flag. But it's just a lot more satisfying to see a checkered flag fly.
I guess.
Makes me feel like I didn't.
Not a quitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because starting on Trail Ride, I got lapped pretty early because they were like damn near all the way around the track when we started. And, I didn't want any part of another lap.
I don't blame you.
Especially having to ride that thing home, too.
Yeah.
But it was a good time.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
I think, didn't Riddle ride his bicycle down there one year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he hitched a ride back, but he did ride a bicycle to there.
Yeah. That was dumb, too. He does a lot of dumb things like that.
That's a whole other level. You might catch me on a Tenere at Big Buck again. You'll never catch me riding a bicycle to Big Buck.
You could e-bike on a Yamaha e-bike from here to Big Buck.
With about 5 batteries.
race the e-bike race, and then ride it home.
It's a good idea.
Maybe Riddle could do that.
I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
I have a Yamaha Moro 07 in the garage right now. So we can theoretically do it. I just got my second battery, too.
Nice.
Like 3 months later. That was a dealership thing.
Yeah, sweet.
But, yeah, so pumped on it. Yamaha Racing, Blue Crew. Let's go.
Blue Crew.
Honestly, it's probably the reason why Caleb ended up signing with Yamaha. He heard that OTP was going to be on the Blue Crew. He's like, you know what? I want to get involved in that.
Good luck selling that.
So, yeah. No, it's cool. It was funny. Like, there was a lot of guesses, and pretty much everyone guessed one brand that wasn't them. So, it's cool to come out and...
What did they guess?
Everyone went Cowie.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of messages with green circles. But I guess it's because, doing the Red Bear stuff and being close with Stu and the team, I can see how it makes sense. But they don't have the top-of-the-line bike of a Yamaha YZ250 FX. So no, I'm pumped on it. Like I said, everything I ever raced, everything I ever owned. My very first bike was a Yamaha. Majority of riders' first bikes are Yamahas, PW50s.
PW50.
And
That was not my first bike, but my first bike was a Yamaha.
was it?
TTR 225.
Really? How old were you?
13 or 14.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Mine was an 08 YZ250F.
Nice.
Blew it up.
Yep. I was about to ask, did you blow it up?
Well, I also didn't know anything about dirt bikes, so I bought it with like 250 hours on it. And then went to every mud race I could find.
Every midi you could find.
It was my fault. But yeah, no. First race ever was Big Buck GNCC on that bike. I got the bike in January, like the week of Christmas or New Year's, and went to Big Buck in March or whatever. So like didn't even know how to ride a dirt bike. Went and raced 4-stroke sea lights and
How'd that go?
not very good.
Yeah.
But fun story.
No, that's exciting, man. Those Yamahas are great bikes. I know our buddy Chris got on one, and he loves it. And there's a lot of people that like them. It's like
Dylan Wolf.
Yeah. And I'd say other than KTM, I think they have like the next closest like cultish following
Yeah.
would be Yamaha.
Yeah. Now they got Cody Webb
Yeah.
putting it to work hard enduro. Got Caleb Russell coming back. Liam Draper on him. Evan Smith.
Yeah.
So, no, man, it's cool. And, yeah, I'm excited about it. And like I said, it's something I'm familiar with. And we rode the bikes last year at Big Buck. We did the press event for the 2-strokes and the 450FX. And then before Indiana, we did the 250FX. So I'm getting a 250FX and the same bike that we rode in Indiana. And, like, dude, I love that thing. So I'm pretty pumped on it.
Sweet. Yeah.
So
And you're getting it tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So hitting the road, heading south. But, yeah. Fun news to get us started for the day. We're going to talk about some results. We're going to go through some stuff. Obviously, there's a ton of storylines and stuff going on in the world of off-road, but there's also been a good bit of racing. Missed a couple weeks, was out of town on vacation. Told you guys about that, so sorry about it. But now we are officially underway. All the series have had their first races, except for GNCC, which happens this weekend. Out west, they've already raced 4 different rounds of 3 different series. Here we got U.S. Sprint Enduro going. We got all of our local series going. Sumpter kicked off this past weekend. GNCC is this coming weekend. We're in the thick of it, which means OTP is back in your life. We're going to be coming at you and doing things the way they should have been done from the beginning. So look forward to that every week. Tom is going to be here keeping me accountable. So
Somebody's got to. Hey, and we did say last show that we were doing it after Sumpter. We were done until Sumpter.
Yep.
And here we are.
So
And we're only an hour late. We're not 2 weeks and an hour late. We're just 1 hour late.
And it will be convenient once we have our place set up.
Yeah.
You don't have to set it up in the dining room.
Yeah. Thanks to Amazon, table didn't show up today.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jeff Bezos. What are you doing? So, yeah, let's breeze through some results. Let's start things out on the West Coast, mainly because I have no idea what happened, so all I can do is read the results. Also been talking, we got some other stuff going on, some other deals and things that we're working on. One of them is with some West Coast stuff to get a better view of what's going on from boots on the ground. So hopefully we'll have that here coming soon. But the NGPC, the National Grand Prix, used to be the AMA Big Six. They've raced 2 rounds already. Dante Oliveira went 1-1 in both of them. I haven't heard if Dante is going to race any East Coast stuff this year. Had a GNCC win last year. Would be cool to see him back. I'm not sure if he will be. Have you heard?
I have not.
There's my dog. So, yeah, Dante goes 1-1. His little brother, Mateo Oliveira, goes 3-2. And these are actually the point standings that they have right now. So, Dante in first, Mateo in second with a 3-2 finish in the first 2 rounds. Dare DeMartille on the Beta machine going 2-4, sitting third place in points after 2 rounds. And Tyler Lynn going 4-3 and getting a podium there at round number 2 in the NGPC series. Checking down in the Pro 2 class, the Pro 250 class, our buddy, Mason Simmons, Australia transplant, was an East Coast guy, now is a West Coast guy, reigning, defending champion out there. Battled back and forth in round number 1, ended up coming back, taking the win in round 2. So he's 2-1 on the season, which puts him in the lead. Samuel Pretschar is in second place in points, went 5-2 in those first 2 rounds as Reba gets stoked about off-road racing. And Cole Zeller currently sitting third place in the Pro 250 class. 4-3 are his finishes in the first 2. Kai Iao. I even wrote the vowels down here to say. Hold on. We're back. Sorry. Reba came through.
Like a bat out of hell.
Tore down the whole thing. But it looks like we are back, so sorry about that. But yeah, so Kai Iao, 3-4 in the first 2 rounds. Colton Ake won, and then 16th in the second round. So apparently something happened with him out there. He might have had a golden doodle wreck his whole day just like we did up here. And then checking out in the women's pro class, Michaela Nielsen 1-1 in the first 2 rounds. Ava Silvestri 2-2, and Ty Wolfslayer goes 4-3. The AMA West Hare Scrambles, Dante took up the win there as well. Mateo backing him up in the number 2 spot as well. And then another beta rider, Zane Roberts, finished third place in their opening round out there on the podium. In the Pro 250 class, Colton Ake would take the win. Leighton Small in second. Ryder Tomaselli rounding out the podium in third. And the women, it was Ava Silvestri taking the win there. Ty Wolfslayer in second. And Rachel Stout in third. Also had the Hare and Hound going on. Zane Roberts, defending champion. He goes 1-1 in the first 2 rounds, I think, that they've had. And now that I say that, these West Coast guys, they're going to be in my DMs. They're going to be getting mad at me because I don't know how any of this stuff works. To be honest with you, I forgot whether they've raced 2 rounds or that's like the different sections or motos. This is why we need West Coast help. So West Coast guys, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to shine a light, trying to get better, trying to support you guys and what's going on out there. I'm just a little dumb when it comes to that stuff, which means 2 Damon Wolfslayer 4-3. And then in the 250 class, Sam Pretschar goes 1-1. Second round, third place overall for him out of the 250 class. Cody Simpson, 2-3. Nolan Kate, 4-4. And down in the women's class, Rachel Stout, 1-2. Ava Silvestri, 2-1. And Ty Wolfslayer going 3-3. I was making sure someone wasn't like texting me saying that they can't hear nothing or see nothing.
No, they're telling me I'm too stiff and to take my shirt off.
Loosen up a little bit. You only got 3 bush lights in you so far. Yeah. Circle back down to U.S. Hard Enduro, King of the Motos. That happened just a little while ago. Tristan Hart would go out there and take the win. Our buddy, halfway local, sometimes here, mostly there. Will Reardon, second place in King of the Motos. So super pumped on that ride for Will. This is a good showing for him out there on the new Sherco ride. And then it was Ryder LeBlond in the number 3 spot, Cody Webb in 4th, and James Flynn rounding out the top 5. While in the women's, it was Katie Hall-Leah and Addie Albrecht rounding out the podium there. Check in on some locals. This past weekend was the very first Mid-East Hare Scramble down at Black Ankle Raceway. I am the announcer for the Mid-East Hare Scramble, so directly involved with what's going on out there. Brody Johnson, back on the Rocket Racing Honda, working together with them. Him and Jonathan both buying their own Hondas to go racing on this year. Brody went out. He said he was trail riding. All right. Talked to him after the race. Said, how hard were you pushing? How was the track? He's like, oh, it was good. I was just out there cruising, trail riding, figuring out the bike. He won by 7 minutes on a trail ride. So that was pretty cool. Brody looking good, feeling good on that bike. Ryan Amancio in the number 2 spot. And Ethan Harwell. Got to shout out Ethan Harwell. He's the last 2 years of youth overall champions. He won the amateur race overall championship last year. And this year goes straight from youth bikes to the pro class. And he did race pro class last year to end the year.
At airport, yeah.
Yeah, in Hickory. But this year, he's going to be racing it all year. Starts off with a bang, grabs an overall podium to start the season off.
You going to say that?
I just saw the picture.
Oh,
I didn't see the
no.
bottom part.
The last one. Read the last one.
Oh, yeah. I forgot who was fourth. But Tyler Palmer, fifth in the Mid-East Hair Scramble.
Smoked.
Denver, North Carolina's newest pilot.
Quit racing, and now he knows what it's like to drink beer and get arm pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn 21. It's all downhill from there.
He said he couldn't feel his hands at all.
I love it.
Because I was kind of shocked by that. But, you know what I mean? We got time to rebuild.
Was Todd there?
He was. Didn't get a chance to talk to him, but he was there.
Long ride home for $1.
Shout out Palmer Motorsports.
Yeah. Which is the old factory Husky Linden ride.
Yep.
This
is why Linden took Tyler's factory ride.
Because he gets arm pumped
now. U.S. Sprint Enduro, that happened a couple weeks ago. Liam Draper goes out and breaks a 22-day winning streak by Johnny Gerard. Obviously, Johnny Gerard, a couple championships over there. He's won 22 consecutive days. That is 11 weekends of winning. Liam Draper was able to best him and take the win out there. Johnny Gerard in the number 2 spot. And Cody Barnes would end up third in Pro 1. But Grant Davis, who is coming off of a very impressive championship season, goes out there. He actually took third place overall while winning the Pro 2 class.
And when you say 22 days, that's like 22 race days, not at the sprints. It's not like, just to clarify.
Yeah, so Saturday and Sunday are scored individually.
Right.
So, yeah.
So he's won 22 days of U.S. Sprint.
Yeah,
consecutive.
Yeah.
Which is how many?
11.
11 races?
Yeah, just said that.
Yeah, but how many years is that? How many races they got a year? Is that 2 years?
I think like 6 to 8. I know they said this was Liam's first win since 2021. So I don't know if that means Johnny's been winning. Maybe Toth snuck off a win somewhere in there. Yeah, I don't know if Liam's last win is congruent with Johnny Gerard's last loss.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either way.
But Liam's last win is congruent with Gerard's last lost.
No, maybe not. That's what we were just saying.
No, it is.
But it
Like,
might not have been.
Yeah, because he just won.
Well, I guess if they got 6 races a year.
You're not picking up what I'm putting down.
No.
He just won. So that's Liam's last.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I was still back in 2021.
Oh, yeah, you're behind.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm bailing what you're raking. But nonetheless, man, that's got to be a confidence-inspiring ride for Liam because obviously last year gets hurt, has surgery, comes back to XC1, never misses the podium, finishes the year second place, and now comes out and takes Johnny Gerard's 22-day streak and takes the wins. I think he won both days to win the overall.
Has he raced any since the last GNCC?
No.
To that sprint? So he's the only one on the 450.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
I think that thing suits him. Caught up with him at Caleb's and filmed that video with him, and that's what he was saying. He just gels a lot better with the 450.
Sweet.
But, yeah, I mean, Johnny, the defending champion of GNCC, had a good run at ISDE, has won multiple Sprint Enduro titles, and then Liam comes out there, gets the best of him. Like I said, that's got to do a lot for the confidence going into the season.
You'd think so. I mean, do you think that the Sprint win has any more confidence than the last 3 or 4 GNCCs that he finished on the podium? Like, which one? What do you think gives Liam more confidence? Was it the last 3 or 4 GNCCs of the year being on the podium, or this win this year over Johnny? So like going into Big Buck, like he's like, yeah, I beat him at the sprint, or I haven't been off the podium in XC1 yet.
I don't know. That'd be a tough call because obviously the Sprint Enduro win is more recent. Mm-hmm. So it's what happened this year. But, yeah, I mean.
But it's nothing like the 3-hour GNCC. No. And, yeah, I mean, that's the weight difference right there. Like, beating the guy at the sprints versus ending the season in second and with that podium streak at a 3-hour race. I don't know which one would weigh heavier. Be a good question for him.
Liam, let us know. No, I mean, that is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a toss-up. I've never been in that position.
Never will be either. So, I don't know. You got a Yamaha now.
Yeah, see? That's all it took for Liam.
Yeah.
Jumped on a Yamaha, won a championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's holding you back?
A lot.
Yeah.
Mainly the nut that connects the seat to the handlebars is my biggest hurdle. But, yeah, so Grant Davis, third place overall. Obviously won the Pro 2 class. Cooper Jones in the number 2 spot. Collier Martinez would get on the podium in the Pro 2 class. Colton Shields took the Pro-Am win over Hunter Smith. A big day for Colton Shields. And then Jay Lipscomb rounded out the podium in the Pro-Am class. Women's, it was Brandy Richards.
What's he riding?
Who?
Jay.
He is riding a...
Don't know.
I'm 99% sure it's a Yamaha.
Okay.
But it could be a Honda. But I'm pretty sure it's a Yamaha. We can fact check it real quick like.
Here, I got you. Keep going through results. I'll look at it.
Yeah, he's on Yamaha. Of course. Natural choice. You know what I mean? If you're a privateer buying bikes, you buy a Yamaha. So, yeah. Ends the day on the Pro-Am podium. Brandy Richards, the queen of ISDE and Sprint Enduro herself. She goes out there, takes the win over Corey Steed and Taylor Jones. So that's going to be competitive between those three throughout the rest of the season. Taylor, really good at the sprints. We've seen her be really good at everything she did on a dirt bike. A couple years off, a couple injuries. We'll see how she's able to transition back and come back to racing. Hopefully, she'll get right back into that TMFJ mindset that she's always been in. And then top amateur was Roland Olin Daniels. So a good day for the Red Bear boys that went down there. Collier on the podium. Olin taking the class win and top am honors. And then this past weekend was the Sumpter National Enduro, where we would see the Red Bear team go to work again. That was a story coming into it. The past 9 years of overall National Enduro champions. Obviously, missing Grant Baylor. He announced on his Instagram that he was going through a surgery and a recovery. Hopefully, we'll see him back sooner rather than later. I figured with the last name Baylor, he probably would have been racing Sumpter this past weekend. Probably a good idea that he didn't.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the number 1 plate was there, and it was Josh Toth. And then his boss and teammate and biggest competition, Stu Baylor, was also there. Toth went out, won the first test by 19 seconds. And then Stu would end up coming back, winning test 2 and something.
And test 1 was the tightest test I've ever done at Sumpter. Without a doubt. It was like 8 miles of handlebar width tight. At least that's what it seemed for me.
Dang.
Yeah. So.
How'd you end up doing?
Not good.
That leads me to a point real quick. On the Pipe Podcast is brought to you by... in part by Zach Tussle at Raymond James Financial. Zach Tussle is a racer, and he's also a financial advisor for Raymond James Financial. He helps his clients win when it comes to retirement and financial planning. If you or someone you know wants to save and invest for your future or is already retired and needs advice for income during retirement, Zach Tussle is always both of our first recommendations. Go to financialadvisorsdenvernc.com or tussleinvestments.com, and you can get in contact with Zach Tussle, let him know you listen to the show, and you get a free consultation. He'll let you know exactly how he can help you, what he's going to do to help you, and if you want bonus points, make sure you let him know that he got beat by Big Tom this past weekend.
I did beat Zach. He DNF'd, but
that's impressive. Zach's fast.
I beat him.
You don't have to mention the DNF part.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna do him dirty like that.
What test was he in?
Test 5. He wrapped his brake pedal around his foot peg. And surprisingly, he quit. I figured he would have bent that thing back, finished the day out, but he saw the B-rider cut off and went to the truck.
Guess he'd had enough. Who was winning up to that point?
Oh, Zach. 100%. So, no,
But that ain't what it said at the finish.
We were 5 minutes late to test 4 after the gas stop. Guess we hee-hawed around a little too much, and about halfway through test 4, I started cramping. My legs started cramping terrible. and went away. And then test 5 was bad. When I finished test 5, got off my bike, laid on the ground. I thought I was like, everything was cramping. My legs, my hamstring, whatever muscle this is. What is that? Tricep. That was cramping. My arms are cramping like this. Not good. And Chris was on the same row with us. And he saw the B-Rider cutoff. And he was like, boys, I'm done. I'm going to the truck. Y'all have it. I think he had fun, but that was definitely the tightest stuff he's ever rode. And
yeah.
He said his hands were so swelled up you couldn't see his knuckles. And he's one of them skinny, bony people that got real defined knuckles, you know. But anyway, he had one of those gels with amino acids and energy gel, whatever it is. So he gave me that, and I tell you what, that brought the life back to me in the 6th test. And the 6th test was my best test of the day.
How long was the 6th test?
10 miles. It was 8.5, 9, 8, 10, 10, 10. Yeah, brutal.
That's what I was going to say. If it was a short one and everyone was cutting off, I was going to make fun of them. But 10-miler, that's a good one.
Well, and he went, so when I pulled up, I saw the B-Rider cutoff, and I told him, I said, I think you're done. And he said, what do you mean? I said, there's a sign that said B-Rider cutoff. So he hesitated. He didn't hesitate at all. Went straight to the guy at the start of the test that was doing the scoring or the time clock. And he asked him, said, is this the B-Rider cutoff? He said, yep, you're done. Chris came back and said, boys, I'm done. I'm going to the truck. See y'all there. And I said, good. I said, give me that gel and start cleaning up. Pack up the camper. So, but no, it was fun. It was me, Wolf, and Chris on the same row, and there's a 40-plus A guy that towed me and Wolf around all day.
What row were you on?
52.
No, that's not bad.
No, but that's another thing. I've never. It's not a bad row, but I've never had like one of those really low number rows, like in front of Pro 2. I've been in with like towards the tail end of the Pro 2 guys before. And that wasn't bad. But everybody's like, oh, you're right behind the pro guys. That's good. Lines be burned in. There'll be hot lines. This and that. Yeah, sounds great. Sure. No. We started test 1 and it was already beat to shit. So next year when I do it, I'm putting on there row 1. I'm signing up by myself. I'm going to see what we get.
Yeah.
And you know what? If I'm row 1 and there's no lines burned in, it ain't going to make a difference because that's the only line I follow all day anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Just get a lot more face slappers on the front row.
You got them on row 52.
I only raced Sumpter once, and I was row like 140-something.
I've been there before, too. But, no, it was fun. But I would like to be in, like, the high teens, like 15 to 20, maybe 25, and see what that's like.
Yeah. Have you raced any besides Sumpter?
Nope. And everybody says that Sumpter's the worst one.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to another one. But I'd like to do that one in Louisiana.
The Cajun.
Yeah. Or
that one's fun.
Or the one with the covered bridge.
Indiana.
Yeah. That one looks good.
I think Mud Daubers.
Yeah, something like that.
So Sumpter's the only one that I've raced.
So and then another thing, I was looking at their schedule. They do so many of them in the middle of the freaking summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that all of them's as tight as Sumpter. I don't think they are. But hell with doing that when it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Because it was low 80, high 70s Sunday. And you're just sitting in the woods and it's like no air movement, nothing. And it's so screw doing them things in the summer. And if they're dusty, like, no.
Yeah.
I'd rather be on the lake.
Well, so Stu even changed his gear in the middle of the day.
I saw that. So did Ricky. I was like,
oh, Ricky did too?
Well, I think so. There's pictures of him in different gear, so one would assume.
Ricky's got to be working to make that 250 work.
Yeah, but it wasn't that hot.
Yeah. The one thing that I keep seeing in like people's race recaps and like talking to people is it seems like the heat did get a lot of people. And it was, like you said, it wasn't that hot, but it's been freezing cold here.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like one warm day.
Yeah. I mean, Saturday was pretty warm too.
Saturday was cold as crap where we were for Mideast.
Yeah.
I was freezing
Really?
Saturday. Yeah.
It was warm down there. I mean, like it was comfortable, but I was doing a little bit of bike work and this and that. And I broke a sweat.
Oh, really?
So,
Yeah, I mean, I was
put
in jeans and a hoodie and freezing all day long on Saturday.
put it this way, we slept in the camper with the AC on high all night, both nights, and felt fine. So, yeah, it was it was kind of like going down to Florida for the, you think that's your first hot race, but
Yeah.
I think it caught me off guard, but whatever. It's not like I'm in shape, like I was prepared for it anyway.
Hey, you finished and Tussle didn't.
That's right.
But no, yeah, that's one of the series. Like, I wish I could run more. I've only raced Sumpter, but during the whole great deal of 2020, went and, like, rode at the Cajun Classic in Louisiana and helped set it up, and then Dragon's Back in Virginia, and just like riding through the trails. Then, like, they're so much fun, and just the format was fun. So
Yeah.
but they're over top of every Mideast race. So
Yeah.
no National Enduros in my future.
Oh well.
But there are going to be several more National Enduros in the future for Stu Baylor, who did go out there and take the win. Josh Toth in the number 2 spot, which is good because that means that Toth can keep his job. I was talking to Stu afterwards. I was like, hell yeah, you got the win at Sumpter. But as a team manager and team owner, you need to let Toth know you expect better results out of him.
You got to beat the boss to keep the job.
Yeah. He hired both of his competition. He hired Grant and Josh.
And Josh was on a 250.
Was he?
Uh-huh.
Well, he's racing XC2.
Yeah.
So, I guess he'll be on 250 all year.
Yeah. So, which you said he won the first test by 19 seconds. It makes sense because it was tight.
Able to throw it around a little better.
Yeah.
Stu has lost a ton of weight. Like, he's lost like 30, 40 pounds.
He always does it at the start of the year.
Yeah.
He always does.
I figured he would have put on baby weight this year.
Yeah.
But undefeated as a girl dad. Ben Kelly. The one thing, okay, so looking on Instagram, social media and stuff, the one thing that I've noticed is that Ben Kelly is commenting on everyone's post, talking about how crazy it looks that everyone's going that fast.
Really?
He's commenting on like 3 or 4 different posts, like back and forth, like, this looks crazy seeing on person. I can't believe everyone's going that fast in the woods. Like, it's insane.
Huh.
And it just shows the speed that those guys are going. BK goes out there, gets 3rd place to start his season. 2 minutes back off
First
of Toth.
podium since he broke his leg?
At a National Enduro, probably.
That's what
I would think so.
Yeah.
That's also probably why he doesn't like seeing the speeds everyone's going, including himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stu and Toth, I forget the gap. I want to say 7 seconds, or maybe 17 seconds. I forget what the gap is between them, but then,
Between Stu and Toth?
yeah.
I think he told me it was like 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Somewhere in
Total
there.
at the end of the day.
And then Ben in 3rd place spot. Ricky Russell, the Triumph news is official. He's posted it. Obviously, he's raced it. So he finishes 4th on the day. And then Trevor Bollinger, good friend of the program, went out and bought himself a Cowie and took it to the races, ended up top 5.
It's a good-looking motorcycle.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I seen him. Well, I saw the pictures, and I seen him Sunday morning. Took a brief look at it, and yeah, it's a good-looking bike. And a lot of people this year have that XC Gear chin sticker thing. What was his name? Lance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a sweet, like, it's just a sweet-looking helmet deal, I guess, that they're doing.
The Mako.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's got that shark on it right there
Yeah.
on your chin bar. But Bollinger's got it on, and he's wearing a Rye helmet. I was like, dude, that's sweet. Something about it is just, I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah. I think all the Red Bear guys have
Do they?
the helmet deal for XC Gear too.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It does look cool. The shark.
I mean, it's just like I guess what I was trying to say is it's a good. He figured out a good way to market that.
Yeah.
You know, like Red Bull's got the chin bar.
Yeah.
Monster's got
Monster.
up here. It just, I guess he done a good job with it. Looks cool.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I don't remember. I didn't see those last year. So it's new.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys running it now, it seems, had a monster one last year. So, I don't know. But it does look cool. I have noticed, especially like on black helmets. It looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
He must be selling a lot of damn bar mounts.
There's a lot of people that run them.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah. I haven't ridden with one.
No?
Which is surprising because everyone I know has one.
Yeah. No, they're cool.
Stu was running flex bars with an XC gear mount.
He still does.
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
That's like 360 movement. I don't understand that.
But with just the XC gear, you don't notice it that much when you first put it on. But if you put the standard bar mount back on, you really can notice how much dampening's in it. It's like, oh my God, this is harsh. But yeah, they're cool.
I like to try one out. Like I said, I've seen them everywhere. They're all over the place.
There were some people that like them so much that when they were on a certain team, they were changing them out. Like they were putting them on when they weren't supposed to.
Covering it with a bar pad?
Yeah.
I don't think people do that.
No?
No. People only run what the sponsors give them.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I mean, it's interesting. If you got a product that works, it works.
Yeah.
But no. Cool helmets, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to call Bollinger over the weekend. Completely forgot. Did you get to chat with him at all this weekend?
Just a little bit. I mean, he was getting his stuff together, going to the starting line.
I see he's got Silver Creek on the shroud.
Yeah, I think it's himself, and him.
Representing Bollinger Gap Road.
I did text him a little bit on Sunday night. He asked me how I liked it, and I said, I like test 3 and 6. He said, LOL, 2 out of 6. I was like, yeah, the rest of them were terrible. Yeah, I did talk to him a few weeks back up at Rose Creek when they had an open ride. And he said he really likes that thing.
Yeah.
You know, he always loved the Hondas. And just, I think something about being on that aluminum frame, Japanese bike.
Yeah.
He's always gelled with it.
Plus, he was on that Rockstar team for so long that I just hope that this is like a
different.
Good fresh start. He's had some time off the bike. Should be most of the way healthy that I know of. But new bike, new feeling, and now he's got a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. And Bollinger's always been a guy that has the speed. Like, he can go out there and put it down.
Well, I think you know what, he might thrive off of a looser program, a loose program.
Yeah,
and I think he's going in he bought a box van. I think him and Tawny and a couple buddies and whoever can help him at the races is gonna do it. I don't know what he's racing. I don't know if he's gonna show up to Big Buck, to be honest. He hasn't told me that, but
yeah,
just from kind of filling it out. He's not a huge fan of the 3 hours. He likes the National Enduros, which I always thought he hated going to those.
Yeah.
But he's told me before, he said, "Dude, I don't know why you go run those things, and you need to run the National Enduros. They're so much more fun." But I know.
So the year I raced Sumpter, I was on the row in front of, behind Trevor. I was close to Trevor.
Yeah.
I think he was a row ahead of me.
Yeah.
So then it'd be like 9 minutes after I got there where I'd see him again.
Yeah.
But that when he blew his ACL out,
it
was. I remember talking to him like right after that.
Yeah, he was.
I don't think he liked him then.
No, I don't think he did because there was 2 years in a row he got hurt down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to that, Trevor is the local Mideast legend, and so
Intimidator.
I know he was. He had he was talking to a team over the summer and through the back half of the season about riding for them. That would have stipulated him ride National Enduros. So he reached out and asked Mid-East if we could like change the schedule and move things around so he could run both because he really wanted to run Mid-East. Obviously, can't make that happen. There's only so many weekends in a year.
What team was it? What color was it?
I guess it doesn't really matter. The Enduro engineering deal that Ricky has now with Triumph. I believe that Trevor was in the mix or talking to or hopeful, I would say hopeful, of getting that. And obviously very close ties to National Enduro.
Right.
But yeah, since I found out he was doing his own deal and Ricky got the Triumph ride, it seems I would have bet money that Trevor would have been racing Mid-East and come over there and try to – because Buren puts up good payouts, man. He pays good for a local series. And I figured he'd be going after that contingency money and the payout money, but he was down in Sumpter. But like you said, he enjoys racing those races. What?
Oh, man. This –
Does it pertain to the show?
Yeah. Forgot to talk about Gus's best performance at NEPG.
Coffee's just stirring the pot.
He is. And Cody Smith and Lyndon and Skinny, they're all just – I think they're watching live.
Let's talk about Coffee's pro debut.
Yeah, Pro 2. He signed up Sunday morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They went –
I was looking through results at Mid-East. I was like, Andrew Coffee, what are you doing?
He was on row 44.
Did he do it just to get a good row?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know what his deal was, but I passed him in the fourth test. He was sitting on the side of the track. So, but they went bow fishing Friday night. Him and a couple other guys. I don't know who he's with, but till like 7:30 in the morning. Then they went and played golf all day Saturday. And I seen him
prep.
Yeah, I seen him walking to go sign up, and I was like, "You're just now signing up?" He's like, "Yeah, racing Pro 2." Good on you.
Dang.
He may or may not have been on a eligible bike too.
Oh. Oh. Hear that, Coffee? You're getting dry snitched on in front of God and everybody.
Oh, his clutch broke. Surprised it wasn't his brakes.
Yeah, I was looking through the results. I was like, dude, is that a typo or something?
He did it just to get a good row.
Yeah.
So, I think he actually went to go sign up for Pro Am, and they were like, "You're going to be row 30."
408.
Reba's contributing to the show.
She just wants her time to shine on OTP today.
No, it was like row 20 or 30 or something. He's like, "No, that's too far for her. Let me do Pro 2." And they gave him 44.
Dang.
So.
Speaking of Pro 2, Jason Tino, who is on a new ride this year, the Flat Rock. I guess Flat Rock's a motorcycle club from what I can gather. But Flat Rock Gas team goes out there and gets the win in Pro 2, start off his season. Got to be pumped on that. Chase Landers in the number 2 spot. And then
That was surprising.
Chase?
Yeah. In Pro 2?
It was, but it wasn't. Well, I guess so. Let me preface this with I love Chris Landers. Love Chase Landers, the whole Landers thing. Like, love what he does. He owns an entire town, seemingly.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. Chase Landers started racing full gas when full gas was full gas, when I was the announcer. I think he was on a 65. If not, he was an 85. And Chase, I'm sure that you can look back on this now and reflect, but he was a little chubby kid with braces. And he'd go out there and race. And then all of a sudden he'd get faster and faster and faster. And now he's winning A-class championships. He's podium in Pro 2. And so it's like in my head, I think of that Chase Landers.
Yeah.
And like what he came from to what he is now. I'm pumped for him.
So is he running 250A or XC2 at GNCC?
I would say 250A.
You'd think, right? Yeah.
Because he won 4-stroke A championship. I would just assume the next progression is 250A.
No, we'll see. Sunday.
Yeah. A few days away from finding out. But, yeah, it was cool to see Chase second place in that Pro. But Pro 2 is like, it's always – at National Enduro, Pro 2 is always different.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because there's so many people that can't race Pro 2 that, like, get bumped up to Pro 1
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like the Pro 2 group every year is always different. It's always kind of surprising. Ben Nelko won a Pro 2 National Enduro Championship. No, I'm just saying. I'm just picking on Ben. Ben's a good buddy of mine, and we just only talk shit to each other. But, you know what I mean? But it's always, like, people you don't expect that are in the Pro 2 mix. But Chase, it's getting fast.
Good for him.
It was throwing thumbs up on the screen. Anyway, Chase Lander second.
Somebody's a Chase fan.
Yeah.
Must be.
Well, no, like, I think it's like an Apple thing that when you put a thumbs up, it like.
Oh, so it wasn't
the
YouTube thing.
No, it's actual.
Oh, it's just Apple telling us we're doing good.
Coming from the computer.
Yeah.
Jahak Walker, Beta's finest, goes out there, gets third place on the Pro 2 podium. Stoked for him. That was a good ride for Jack out there on the Beta machine. And I guess a good day for Strang.
Yeah.
I talked to him a little bit. Didn't talk about the race at all, but new crew, the boys. We talked about it in the podcast last time.
First outing on a podium.
Yeah. I did see his post too, where he was a little upset he didn't race. Said dirt was looking good.
Yeah. If he would have raced, he would have been mad that he raced.
After what the track was.
Yeah. How tight it was.
Yeah, but looking at it.
Yeah, looking at it.
Looks good.
Yeah, looking at it.
So, yeah, good ride for him. In the women's class, Rachel Guddish took the win over reigning, defending, two-time, three-time GNCC, one-time national. I think National Enduro first time last year. Anyway, Rachel Archer finished in second place. Looked like they battled back and forth a little bit, but Goodish looked like she was on it. Goes out there, takes the win. Rachel Archer in the number 2 spot, and then Brandy Richards raced, National Enduro, which I don't think she did last year. So,
yeah, she probably did sprints.
I wonder what she's going to do because she raced sprint. She raced US Sprint. She raced Sumpter. She's obviously racing GNCC. Is she going to go for the Triple Crown? Or is she going to drop either sprints or – because speaking of Gus, I heard that that's why he raced National Enduro because him and Grant Davis flip-flopped. And Grant – because of that Pro 2 rule, you don't get a chance to defend your title. So Grant won Pro 2 last year, was going to move into the Pro 1 class. And so I think just looking at it from the outside, I think that's part of why they flip-flop. Grant's going to do the sprints, and Gus is doing National Enduro.
Yeah. And that was Gus's first ever National Enduro.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of weird seeing his name pop up in there, but I didn't know if it was his first ever.
I didn't talk to him after the race, but I would be curious to hear his thoughts about it.
Yeah. I'm sure he loves it. Had a great time.
From the deserts of Australia to tight-ass woods of Sumpter.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's also what I don't understand because Mackenzie Tricker, motocross girl, comes from Australia, known for wide-open wood stuff, won like 3 or 4 National Enduro titles. Taylor Jones comes over, wins National Enduro titles. Ben Nelko comes from motocross, wins National Enduro titles. So it's like, how are these people that are going from wide open doing good in the tight stuff?
Yeah, well, it probably also depends on who's there, those years. There was, I glanced at the Pro 2 results, but it seemed like there was quite a bit of talent in the class at Sumpter.
There was a lot, it looked like.
So, I don't know. And it being your first one, like, you go back and look at Ben and Tricker and Taylor Jones, you look at their first National Enduro, wonder what was their result.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's definitely, it's a different type of racing. It's like the first time you go do a sprint and all you've ever done was hair scrambles. It's different. Racing the clock is just, it's different. Not having the head-to-head, chasing somebody, coming around every lap on the same track, and, knowing your position, knowing how far you are behind somebody, and knowing what the next lap, like what the track's going to be, it is different. It's just a different type of racing. So
Yeah. And that's one thing that I hope never goes away.
Yeah, he'll get better at it.
Yeah. That's one thing I hope never goes away about National Enduro is the fact that you can't walk the tracks. You can't pre-ride the tracks.
Yeah.
You can't get on an e-bike and do it 28 times and remember every single rock and twig on the trail.
Yeah, and
I think all racing should be like that.
Yeah, and the only bad thing about that is it does give an advantage to somebody like Stu. That's how many times he raced at Sumpter.
Yeah.
And like that. So when it's like for Gus, this is his very first one.
Yeah. And I mean, people talk about that too, like Dante coming over and racing GNCC, and like people that just get into GNCC. People talk about we've been going to the same tracks for so long, and everyone has a disadvantage. Like that's one thing about like the Johnson boys at Mid-East. Everyone's like, oh, they know the track, that's why they're so fast.
Yeah.
This was Brody's first time racing at this track, and he won by 7 minutes. And like last year,
who was there?
Yeah, but still, but last year he beat some good people, and that was the first thing they said. It was, oh, he knows the track, and it was Brody's first time at that track. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I mean, good riders are good riders.
Yeah.
So.
Or maybe they should open it up for like GNCCs for like an hour period. You can ride the track once.
On your dirt bike?
No, e-bike. Gotta stay out of the woods. Like you get one lap.
You have to clock in?
Yeah. Or like, you just open it up. You got an hour.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Saturday from 4 to 5.
How do you police that?
I mean, it used to be a rule they couldn't go in the woods until Sunday.
Yeah.
They police that somehow.
Yeah, true. But I feel like it's like all or none. Like, I don't feel like there's a way to police the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You mean like amateurs and stuff?
No. Like you said, you couldn't go to the track until Saturday. Well,
that's how it is now.
No, they can go on Friday.
No.
Yeah.
They can't go in the woods Friday.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure. I think you can.
I don't think they can go till Saturday. I could be wrong, but that was my understanding.
I thought that changed a couple years ago.
Well, it used to be they couldn't go in until Sunday. But
Really?
now I think they can go in Saturday.
Till Sunday?
Yeah.
Or was it until after the Fuller race?
I'm pretty sure at one point they couldn't be in the woods until race day.
Huh.
Because I remember it being a thing like no one could go to Howard's Hole and watch the quads.
Yeah, and they were mad.
And they couldn't go to the hill climb.
They had to sit at their truck, yeah.
Yeah. But now I'm pretty sure that the pro riders can't go in the woods Friday.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I thought it was just open now. But anyway.
I could be wrong too. I don't know.
But like I was saying, like, you either have that rule where you, okay, so say it was Sunday. Absolutely can't go in the woods. And now it's all day Saturday. Like, so it went from being, couldn't go in the woods at all on Saturday. Now it's, you can go in the woods as much as you want on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So if you're saying that there's only, like you only get to do one lap, that's going to be back to the thing where you can't go to Howard's Hole or you can't go to a hill climb to watch.
Yeah.
Like, say the Big Buck hill climb. Say somebody want to go down there and just watch the pro four-wheelers, not doing their lap or nothing. They just want to ride their bike down there. You wouldn't be able to do that. So how would you know what I'm saying? How would you police that middle ground?
Well, I guess like just from, I don't know how you police it.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm only offering problems, not solutions.
Yeah.
But no, like it's like right now, one of the biggest issues is all the double placards that are at GNCCs and all the stringers. That kind of narrows it down, funnels everything into one section, makes everything one line, takes away opportunities to pass. It's the thing I hear the most. Mm-hmm. And you couple that with being able to do 8, 9, 10 laps and go back to sections multiple times a day and check it out. And you got guys breaking branches and putting things in tape to where you know where you're at, and you can get these hotlines, and then all of a sudden someone's recording with a camera because you went 25.4 inches off the track. And I feel like without that repetitiveness and going around and spending so much time in the woods, it would kind of eliminate the need to funnel everyone into the double placards and also the cheat lines, the hot lines that develop wouldn't be as noticeable and wouldn't get as burnt in. I just feel like it'd be tighter racing.
Yeah.
Could be completely wrong. All the pro riders might hate that take.
Well, if you just made it no rules like National Enduro, because you can take a hot line and cut 100 yards off the track at National Enduro,
Yeah.
but you run the risk of losing the track.
Yeah. As long as you get back to the arrows.
Yeah.
So, fun fact at National Enduro, learned this behind the scenes. The way that the rule book is written is that if there's a track discrepancy, everything has to get measured back to the nearest tenth of a mile that's marked. So, if you're ever around a National Enduro track, well, I guess you would never know because you can't walk it. But at the end of every test, there is a 0.9 mile marker, 1/10 of a mile back. So that way, if anybody has a discrepancy in test 3, they measure back from the end of test 3 to the nearest 10th mile marker. And so it could have happened at mile 2. But if it gets brought up at the end of test 3, or at the end of the test, they only have to go back to the nearest mile marker. So they mark a 0.9 mile marker just to measure back to the nearest 10th.
What do you? I don't get it. What do you mean? So they walk that tenth of a mile. And see
Like
there's a
if
cheat
someone
line?
gets lost or if someone goes off the track, if there's any type of like discrepancy with the track, they have to go back and mark it back to the nearest 10th mile that's marked. So it's like then they start at the end of the test, they walk a 10th of a mile. Oh, look, trail marker, we're done.
Interesting.
It's moving on.
It's a way to keep it, I guess, open and to where you can do hotlines and stuff like that, but it's legal.
As long, well, I guess it's more from a mileage dispute. So if you say, if the track says it's 9 miles or they go off the total miles, like it has to be 65 miles or whatever it is total. And, or the test is supposed to be 9 miles, but you do it and you only ran 7 miles. Then they have to go back and check the track, the mileage back to the nearest 10th. So then it's like they don't have to backtrack all the way from the end of the test to the beginning. They just go to that first 10th mile marker and say, yep, that's a 10th of a mile. Everything's right. So there's no more argument about how long the test was as long as it measures up correctly to that 10th of a mile.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. That did sound a lot more confusing once I brought it up. It's been a while.
Yeah. Anyway.
What else? Any more interesting things? Did you see any sights and sounds at the National Enduro?
No.
Lane Whitmer,
Oh,
Pro-Am, or Top-Am, rather. Way better day than Swole Cole Whitmer.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the video that Cole Whitmer posted, say he lost control, went face first into a tree, split his brow open. That fighter cut right there. It's just thin skin and orbital bone.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that thing just split open.
Yeah. It looked rough.
It looked bad.
But
I'm surprised it wasn't censored.
He took a twig through his goggle. Did you see the goggle hole?
Yeah, like a hole in the lens.
He's lucky he didn't lose an eye.
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Tanner, SOS, safety on site. Got him stitched up. Good to go. Which, I mean, that is a good thing to have at the races, to be able to triage that and get it stitched up without even leaving the track. So shout out Doc Tanner. Yeah. Full Gas happened a couple weeks ago. I believe what?
I gotta go.
Okay. I believe Zach Hayes won. The results online for the combined time say Bollinger won, but I believe they went 1-2 and 2-1. So from what I understand, Zach Hayes did win that race, but the combined results is by overall time. So it's got Bollinger in front. But I think it was Zach Hayes, Trevor Bollinger, Mike DeLosa, and then Top-Am Cole Johnson. That was the only other thing that we missed as far as results are concerned. So we went through, like I said, the West Coast results, all that kind of stuff to get us caught up. And now, like I said, reoccurring every Tuesday is OTP Tuesday. We'll come on here and we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about the races. We'll be able to keep up going forward. While we're at it right now, we'll jump to some YouTube comment questions. So if you have any questions, drop them in the YouTube chat. When Tom gets back, we'll go over some of the silly season stuff and give you updates on where everybody landed, and then talk about a few other of the storylines that we have here. Travis Harvey, shout out. Easton Harvey, overall AM bike winner this weekend, shout out. Hype for GNCC, going to be a mud fest for sure. It is looking like it's going to be a mud fest. Like I said, we're like an hour and a half down the road. It is still raining here and projected to rain throughout the rest of the week. I don't expect any announcements coming from a cancellation or postponement of Big Buck, but you never know. Crazier things have happened. JoJo to XC2 says Paul Alley. No, I do believe that JoJo is going to be racing the 250A class yet again on a Phoenix Racing Honda. And I don't know the validity of it, but I think Tom said when he got here that JoJo might be battling something himself. But yeah, everything I know, JoJo will be racing the 250A class once again this year. And then are the Triumph boys in XC2. I don't know who the boys, plural, are. I know that Ricky Russell is riding a Triumph 250, but he will be racing it in the XC1 class. And I do believe that Josh Toth will be racing the XC2 class as well. Obviously, we saw Josh become the first rider in history to overall a GNCC from the second row. Grant Davis would then do it twice on the season as well. So that's 3 wins out of 12 races from the second row in XC2, winning the overall, which is pretty impressive. It was unprecedented until last year, and then it became kind of the normal thing after Grant Davis decided to do it twice. But the rule changes came out. There was a rule that was talking about national overall champions couldn't race XC2. It looks like that silently disappeared from the rules list. The rules changes are usually denominated in red, but I guess if you retract something, then there is no red to put in it. So I do believe that everything is lined up and good to go for Toth to go out and race XC2, which is going to make a really strong case for the Red Bear team at the GNCCs as well. Tom, we'll talk about some of the silly season stuff, just kind of fill people in, and then any other things that we're missing. Do we want to do predictions tonight or no?
Well, yeah.
Come again?
We're not gonna be on here again before Big Buck. So
yeah, but then everyone always gets mad when you make a prediction. You can't even say nothing without someone getting mad.
Fuck them. So right when I walked back, you said something about it becoming the norm for Grant winning, or the XC2 guys winning overalls. When we did the show after Georgia, I think it was after Georgia, yeah, when Toth won.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it clear as day. I said, I think it'll happen again. Now that it's happened once, it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I was right.
Yeah.
Happened 2 more times.
Dude, Grant was on it.
Yeah, he was at the end of the season. He was rolling.
I mean, he overall.
I think it'll happen again this year.
He got 3rd overall in Florida, 2nd race last year.
Yeah, yeah, but that's happened before. That's happened a lot before.
Yeah, but Grant never got a podium until Ironman the year before last.
Yeah,
and
pretty
then
wild.
Overall podiums the 2nd race, and then ends up winning 2 races in 1 year.
Yeah,
and no one left except Liam, but Liam was there at the beginning.
Nobody left?
Liam eventually did.
Yeah. But he beat Liam too, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Liam was there at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And then Liam got on a 450 and just became a different animal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at Snowshoe, I walked up to Toth on the line. I was like, hey, nobody's ever won it from 2nd row twice. Or no, I said, now you can't make history as winning from XC2, so what now? He's like, oh, no one's ever done it twice.
Yeah, you know what? Nobody's ever done it 3 times. So
yeah, true. But yeah, that'll be a battle between those two, and then Gus in the mix as well. The Johnson boys, if Brody's just trail riding
Yeah.
and doing, I don't know. Jonathan back on a 4-stroke.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's go over the silly season stuff. That way we can get into some of those conversations. Evan Smith, we mentioned that we heard through the grapevine there was talks with the Yamahas. He is now confirmed on the Ampro Factory Yamaha race team. Ryder Lafferty.
He's not doing a full GNCC season.
Yeah, no, I thought that was kind of strange.
It's weird.
And they got like a J-Day guy.
Mm-hmm.
They got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it said he's doing select GNCC events and national.
Which is weird.
Normally, that's the one that you're mandated to. So I wonder how he worked that out.
Yeah. But
Kudos to him.
But you would think that he'd want to do them because how well he did last year.
Yeah. No, he did do really well.
I wonder if it's like one of the things where he's going to do one full series, and then if somebody gets hurt, he'll be doing the second one.
Yeah.
Like he's going to do all the national enduros because Caleb's not at the national enduros or Liam. And then if
I wonder why Liam isn't.
Yeah, I don't know because he's doing the sprints.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then if one of the two get hurt at GNCC, he'll pick up that. I wonder if that's what the deal is.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like you said, with the success that he had last year and from the team side, GNCC is like the premier series. That's where you got to be. You think that he would be racing all of them. Ryder Lafferty was another guy that was looking for a ride. Looks like he's doing his own thing on a Honda. Both Johnson brothers are going to be on privateer Hondas, kind of working together and doing their thing.
Are they working with Ryder or no? Separate.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They got the rocket racing thing with like Corey wrenching for them and stuff. Yeah. So I think they're doing.
And I think he's
brotherly love.
He's helping Bollinger out too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. See, all sorts of privateer grouping teams coming together.
Yeah.
Ricky Russell, obviously on the Enduro Engineering Triumph. Jason Tino goes to the factory Flat Rock Gas team, which makes 3 semis Chris Landers is pulling into every GNCC with, which is pretty crazy. Good for him. Trevor Bollinger on a privateer Kawasaki with Silver Creek MX, his motocross track, as the title sponsor. So hopefully that means we can start getting the Wednesday night lights again, doing some practices. If you're going to advertise for it, you got to open it back up.
Yeah.
Pretty cool place to ride up in Morganton.
Yeah.
Lyndon Snodgrass doing a privateer thing as well on a Palmer Husqvarna. Thad Duvall, I know he was kind of up in the air trying to figure out something. I know he was on the fence about retirement, decided to come back, ended up working out. New team formed with Bill Gold, and Thad will be riding a KTM for that team.
Is he the only one on that team?
I feel like they posted somebody. Oh, it's the Whitmers.
No, because they're riding gas gases.
Oh, yeah.
They're on that Bell's.
Something. Oh, really? Bell's Electric?
Maybe. Hold on. Let's look. But I thought what's that team that Thad's riding for? What was it called again?
I don't remember their actual
Why did I
team
think
name.
that they were bringing a semi?
I mean, they might be. I could have swore the Whitmers are.
Oh, it's Enduro Engineering Support Team.
What?
The Whitmers.
That team or the Whitmers?
No, the Whitmers.
Racecraft Off-Road is Thad's team.
Okay.
Bill Gold has been racing the morning race for quite some time. Oh, Hunter Smith is racing for them as well.
Okay.
Bill Gold, 50A, 55A, and 2-time 60+ A champion. But he's always been with the Tealy Energy team and Todd Ely.
Okay.
I think he used to be the enterprise or the CEO for Enterprise rental cars.
Really?
Did something with Enterprise. I think it was CEO. I think he's pretty high up. But anyway, Todd would basically prep his bike and bring it to the tracks. And now I think Bill just kind of branched out and did his own thing. I think Kevin Gano is going over there as well, wrenching for Thad. So happy that Thad found a home. He looks happy riding. Obviously, his son doing really good riding as well. So it'd be cool to see them still around at the races. Taylor Jones coming out of retirement on the Phoenix Racing Honda. Obviously, the big news, Caleb Russell back on the racetrack, and he will be on my teammate. He's going to be my teammate. Blue Crew, Yamaha, him and Evan Smith and Liam Draper. He will be returning on the Yamaha and then checking in at the Red Bear tent. They signed Grant Baylor, Josh Toth, Stu Baylor, Rachel Archer, and Nick DeFeo. And then also to recap, Josh Strang. Saw him start on Sherco. Saw him move to Beta. Now, full factory, team manager, and rider for the Beta Factory Racing team. That covers everyone in the top 20. Is there any outliers that we missed?
Not that come to
JoJo
mind.
racing for Phoenix.
Yeah. Anybody racing XT3 this year?
I know that there's one kid that has support from Beta. He's not on the Beta team, but he's going to race XT3. I forget his name. He podiumed the last round.
Yeah.
I think he's one of Jack's buddies.
Okay.
Other than that, no clue.
There's normally somebody in there that's, pretty good.
Yeah. Someone shows up.
Yeah.
We'll see Sunday.
Maybe.
So now, Big Buck, cold and rainy, maybe canceled. We talked about that. I don't want to say maybe canceled. I keep saying that just because, logically, I can see it. There's been absolutely no talk or any type of inclination that it would or could be canceled.
It has happened once before.
It's just rainy.
We were talking about before the show. You don't remember it, but there was one year, it was like the second or third year, it was the first round that they had to cancel it. I want to say it was like 17, 18. It's crazy that we've been going there for the first round that long, but
I don't remember. It probably did happen. I just don't remember.
I know it did.
Not for the first one. Like maybe Bigger Buck, Tiger Run getting canceled. I don't remember the first round getting
The first round got canceled. They moved it to Florida. Hold on. I'm going to find out.
I don't know. One thing that we did talk about, schedule time when stuff came out, I was hearing about the Mountaineer being in jeopardy if SMX came back to Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, MX Sports Productions is SMX and also GNCC, and I think that was a conflicting thing. I haven't heard anything about that, how it would or could affect that round 12, I think it is, Mountaineer. No, it's not round 12. I think it's the first race back after summer break. It's also the weekend after ISDE. But SMX will be in Charlotte that weekend. One thing that we want to talk about is predictions. You got people coming in, wondering how people are doing. One of those people, the main people, is everyone's wondering how Caleb Russell will do. Now, Caleb Russell went and raced the local race, raced Carolina XC, won it. But he also posted that he got hurt at that race. And haven't had any communication with Caleb. So this is completely spitballing. But when you look at the Yamaha team photos, it is not Caleb Russell in the photos. Some of the riding photos.
Yeah, it was 2019.
So what was the first round? Florida?
Loudmore, yeah. And there wasn't a Big Buck.
I think I raced all the races that year, and I don't remember that.
Because that was the year that they went back to the high voltage.
And X Factor.
Yeah. Yeah, because the high voltage was after Snowshoe. Yeah, so in 2019.
Interesting.
Yep.
But yeah, so going back to that thing, Caleb in the photo, and this could be a coincidence. I was told roundabout way that they only had a set of new gear, and so they wanted the new gear in the photos. Could be possible. Could be possible.
Come on.
But it is for sure Liam Draper on the 557.
Well,
in some of those riding photos, but then some of the riding photos, it's Caleb.
Yeah, it's weird. But here's the thing. If they only had one set of gear, Why they have different numbers on the gear. And then in the team picture, they were all wearing the same gear.
Yeah. But the riding photos were different gear.
Was it?
Yeah.
Then how did Caleb have riding photos in the new gear? You telling me that a gear... Yes.
I'm not telling you nothing. I'm just telling you observations. Because they are all wearing the same gear in the static shots.
You did just tell us that they only had one set of new gear.
I didn't tell you that. I said it.
You heard it, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing I know for certain is that the photos
somebody's
do not meet the eye.
Somebody's telling you a lot of shit.
I don't know. I should hear all stuff filtered out. Well, but either way, it leads you to believe, and Caleb's been steady vlogging. We've seen the new Blackwater filming with Caleb down there. Saw him ripping through the rollers. So obviously he's riding. He is in some riding shots for the photo. So it very well could be a coincidence that they just wanted different gear for the photo. He didn't have the gear.
But we know that he wrecked at the Carolina XC hard. So it'll be interesting.
So it leads me to believe going into the season, and it's also weird too that like right before he went and raced moto, he ran through that fence and got hurt really bad. And then right before his comeback for this, also ironic that he was out for 4 years. And it was in between one presidency. I don't know if it's correlated. But the election happened, Caleb Russell's back. Can't say with certainty what happened there. Just point out things. No, just kidding. But we know he's obviously been riding. We know that he got hurt because he told us. Via social media, via YouTube. So, how much time did he have off the bike? Is he 100%? Was he able to train the way that he wanted to train? These are all just the facts that we know. And it's up to us to put it together.
5 days. We'll know. Is it 5 days? Yeah. Damn, I'm good. 5 days.
But that's the thing, too, is like, if something like that happened, he would never say it, and he's 100%. But then if the results aren't there, and it's because of a injury, then everyone's going to say, you're old and washed up. So if it was me, I'd be like, doctor told me I couldn't even race today, and I'm here.
It's one of those things that, like, he's not going to say before the race. And if he's got a good result, he's going to be like, look, I did this hurt. Wait till I'm good.
Yeah.
Let me show you how much I can really kick everybody's ass. Or he does not that good, and he's like, look, I'm just lucky to be here.
Yeah.
And that's what will happen.
Yeah.
One of the two. It might help him out that it's going to be a motor race.
It just changes the prediction because before he let us know that he got hurt, it's like, man, is Caleb going to be Caleb? Or is Caleb going to have a slow start? Or is Caleb going to be top 5?
I think it'll be a slow start. And by slow, I mean...
By knowing about that or just in general? I
think in general. Just, it's a long time to be off. There's a lot more guys that are going that top speed. And at that, there's young, like, you have a whole new wave of people that are good. Liam, Johnny, Craig didn't have a great year last year, but Craig.
Jordan
Ben.
Ashburn.
Yeah, Jordan Ashburn. He's there's no doubt that Jordan's way better now than when Caleb was racing.
Dude, I think the biggest surprise, and it's kind of a weird situation because Johnny, we know he's going to be good. Caleb, we know his history. So if he comes back and is good, no one's going to be shocked. You know what I mean?
I think it will be a surprise. If he shows up at round 1, you tell me you won't be surprised?
If he wins?
Yeah. What'd I say? Shut up. Yeah, shut up and wins. That's what I was thinking. It was in my head. It didn't come out of the mouth.
Honestly, dude, not really. This is where I hate hosting a show because I gotta go say what's up to all these dudes this weekend. I don't want anybody getting mad at me. But like, all you know is the body of work that he had. He turned 35 a few days ago.
Let him get mad. You're talking the truth. It's hard to come. You telling me you take 4 years off of racing and you expect to show up and be just as good. Now, neither one of us are as good as Caleb Russell, but he's got to do it to that top tier peak level.
Yeah. There's no easing back into it.
No. So,
But he's still
and look at like, I mean, if you compare it to like motocross and supercross guys that take a break and come back, like Dungy, he came back to outdoors. When he left racing outdoors, nobody could touch him.
Yeah.
He came back, and after what, 3, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it was. And he didn't just win.
Different. It's either going to be.
It is, but it's not.
It's either going to be Tom Brady to the Bucks or Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. There's no in between. He's either coming out winning the Super Bowl or he's stinking.
You know what? That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Did Aaron Rodgers even win at the Jets?
They won 5 games.
Total.
Yeah.
In how many years?
2. But he only made it 4 snaps into his first year. 5 if you include the Achilles. And then this year they went 5 and whatever gets you to 17.
Is he retiring?
No. Allegedly he's coming back. But anyway, that was the best analogy I could come up with before. It's either going to be Tom Brady to the Bucks or Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. But I wouldn't go out and bet my paycheck that Caleb is going to win. But the question you asked is, would I be surprised? And at the end of the day, if Caleb came back and won, knowing his history and where he came from and everything that he did in his career, I don't think it would be surprising.
I don't think it will be surprising if he gets a win this year. That won't surprise me. If he wins big buck, I will be surprised.
All I'm saying is it's plausible. If Caleb Wood goes out and overalls the race, I'd be surprised. If Caleb Russell goes out and overalls the race, I'd be like, I can see it.
You can not be surprised, and I can be surprised, and we can agree to disagree. But the fact of the matter is, he's been off. He hasn't raced, and he didn't ride that much that we know of. You know, in that four years, but it ain't gonna happen. He's not gonna win big bucks.
So, and here's my side is in the interview that we did with him and put it out on YouTube. He says himself that he's got more time on this bike than he did before, allegedly. He didn't start riding until October 1st, or whatever he said. But he said himself in the interview that he had more time on the bike now than he did, like, battling the injuries and coming back before. So it's like, one, he might not have rode a ton over the last 4 years. He has rode a ton over the past year, it seems.
Yeah.
He, over the 4 years, has been training every champion except for Jordan Ashburn.
But it's still 4 years off of 3-hour races. It's not like he's showing up to race Mid-East at 2-hour races. Yeah, he shows up at Mid-East, you put everybody out there, he wins every one of them.
He's got 26 years racing, 4 years off.
Yeah, but it don't work like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not putting my paycheck on him to win. I'm just saying if he does win, I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay.
Crazier things could happen.
Yeah, there's always that.
But there are also people that believe that he won't even be a podium guy.
I
think all year.
All year?
Yeah.
Oh, they're dumb.
I've heard people say that.
Yeah, they're smoking something. I think he's off the podium at Big Buck. I put him top 5.
Let me ask you this. This is another question that's going to get us in hot water. Stu has came on the show several times and said that Caleb Russell was in everybody's head. And he has the famous quote that he said on the show of Caleb's response to him was, I'm focused on winning and you guys are focused on me. Stu said that. And it was one of those things where, like, he did win a lot of races, and it did at times seem like people were showing up to see who would get second. Mm-hmm. Now that it's been 4 years off, now that Caleb is 35 years old, now that all these things that we were just talking about, do you think that there is going to be any mental advantage of the guys that were there when Caleb was there versus when he comes back? Like, do you think at this level any pro rider is going to look down the line and say Caleb's back, or do you think that they'll be able to just breeze right by it and he hasn't been here in 4 years, we're going to smoke him?
I think there's
none of them would ever admit it.
no. Yeah.
But just
I would
psychologically,
think,
what do you think?
Yeah. Not all of them. I think there's some guys that be like, Caleb's been off for 4 years. He's showing up. Let's see how this goes, kind of thing. And I think there's probably some guys that are like, oh shit, Caleb's back. Here we go again, type thing. There's probably also some people that haven't raced Caleb that are now in XC1. Liam, who else?
Wachowski.
Linden. That are like, oh shit, Caleb's here. Like,
Yeah.
never had to race a guy. I don't know anything about him.
On the same row.
Yeah, all I know is what I've seen and what I've heard.
The folklore.
Yeah, and it's like, let's see let's see if it's actually true or whatever. And it might be in some of their heads too.
Yeah.
But
it's an interesting dynamic, and like I said, you can argue it either way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is kind of cool that there is so many different ways you could see it or take it or whatever.
And it is exciting.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be cool to see him do good and win. But I think it's going to be harder than he thinks it's going to be.
Yeah. And
just going off of your interview with him and
yeah,
yeah.
I've always been a big Caleb fan. I don't try to hide that.
Everybody has.
I get a lot of flack for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I forget where I was going with this.
You're a Caleb fan.
Yeah, but I was setting up something. And now I completely lost it.
Yeah, you got to thinking about being a Caleb fan.
Like I said, everyone always gives me crap for it. Dang it. There was a good point I was going to make, but I don't remember what it was.
Do you think it gets in Stu's head? You know Stu a lot better than I do. Putting you on the spot. Come on.
I don't know.
It's Stu. He's not going to get mad at you.
He might. No.
Come on. How many times has he told you that you're a media guy? To tell it like it is.
Yeah.
And if the riders don't like what you got to say, then they need to get over it. So do you think it gets in Stu's head?
Here's the thing.
Yes or no?
In the core of my heart, I don't think Stu is going to lose any sleep over it. But from the psychology that I know about people, I can come up with every reason why he should. I shouldn't say should.
On the line Sunday and during the race, do you think it gets in Stu's head? You think if they're going into 2 laps to go, and let's just say Caleb's leading, Stu's running third, do you think Stu goes absolutely AWOL and tries to beat Caleb? Because if he does, it's in his head.
I guess the first thing that I could do is revert back to the things that Stu has said on this program. And one of the things he talked about was like the head game before. I gotta stay in gray areas, man.
No, you don't. You want me to tell you what I think? I think it is. I think it will get in his head. I think Caleb kicked Stu's ass and Caleb was in Stu's head for so many years.
His entire career.
Yeah. That I think Stu will be one of the guys that's like, oh shit, Caleb's back.
Yeah. Well, Caleb,
he'd never tell you that.
Yeah.
But everybody likes Stu. But Stu's
the fan favorite.
Yeah, but he's a mental dude. Like he
is.
And he not always, but when it comes down he cracks under pressure. He always has something when the pressure's on, especially for a championship. Happened during the Caleb years. It's happened after the Caleb years. And Stu's admitted that Caleb was just like that comment in his head. At least that's the way I took it. I think it'll, especially if Caleb comes out and wins and beats him.
Well, so I think the last time Stu was on the show, one of the times we were talking, he was sitting there talking about, or maybe that was Strang. Now that I say that, never mind. No, I think it was.
It don't matter.
Nonetheless,
let's hear it.
It was about from some pro rider about how, like, if it's a certain guy in front of you, you're like, oh, I know I can give them space, I know I can give them time, I know I can catch them. Mm-hmm. Whereas other guys, you're like, I can't lose sight of them or I will never see them again.
Yeah.
And so I think Caleb might still have that effect, as in can't let him get too far ahead or else you might not get back.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, to that standpoint, mentally affected him. It's hard to say, man, because like I said, all these dudes, this is what they do for a living. Stu is in the best shape he's been. He's got everything set up the way that he is. He's got a team manager. He's got a good team around him. He wants to be done racing. Every time he talks about how close he's getting to retirement. And
he started
the GNCC
saying that
title,
10 years ago.
Yeah, I know. But the GNCC title is like the one thing that he wants more than anything.
You telling me if Stu wins GNCC next year, he's going to retire next year? Wins it this year, retires next year?
Twofold question. I think Stu would tell you that if he won it, he would retire. Personally, I can't see Stu as a person that's not a professional racer.
Yeah.
Like Stu talks like he's going to be the guy that retires early. But I could see Stu being the Mike Brown of GNCC and being 50 years old and still racing XC1.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's because he's a competitor.
He's past the retiring early thing. He started in XC1 in 2013.
Something like that. He was 17. 16, 17.
Yeah, he's past the early.
Well, he just turned 30.
Yeah, he's past
like a couple weeks ago.
He's
a couple
past,
months ago.
He's past the. He's got 2 kids. He ain't retiring early.
As a fella,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's,
as a fella that's 32, I think retiring early at 30 is still pretty early.
Yeah.
Plus,
he
now
ain't going nowhere.
But now
he loves it too much.
Stu is in a very unique situation because if he did want to retire, he's got his backup plan. He's got a team. He's got a factory race team that he knows can pay his bills if he's not racing. So if he did want to retire, he's pretty well equipped to retire.
Yeah.
And then in 4 years, we'll see him come back.
On a Yamaha.
Hey, he did good on Yamaha.
Yeah, he did. So what else?
So what started this whole thing is I said if Johnny wins, you won't be surprised. If Caleb wins, you wouldn't be surprised. You obviously would be surprised. But I think one guy that people are counting out, and I think is going to be one of the strongest guys of the season, is Ben Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
You look at his championship year, and then he came out, won 7 straight, broke his leg, went away, came back a little bit, got another surgery, came back. That dude is a unit.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some good rides to come on at the end of last year, and he's had this offseason to get back. And I think that's a guy that could come out and win big buck.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Like he hadn't been around in 2.5, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so people kind of forget about what he was able to do before he got hurt. So I think he's a guy that I don't see talked about regularly enough that could come out swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Like Grant Davis of XC1.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Ben gets forgotten about a little bit. It seems that way. But I agree with you. I think he will be. I think he's due for a year to come on strong. And I hope he does. I mean, Ben's a nice guy. He's a hell of a rider.
Mm-hmm.
He's been through it with the leg and shoulder and whatever else he had. But I could see that for sure.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's like just talking with people at the races, and I had it marked down, but like their computer crashed at Mideast when we were trying to start a race. Our scoring computer went down, so like on the line, I was like, all right, big bucks coming up this weekend. What do you guys think? Let's do a poll. Who do you think's gonna win? I said, who thinks Johnny Gerard's gonna go out and win? And the whole crowd, whoa! Who thinks Stu Baylor's gonna win? Crowd goes nuts, loudest that they were for anyone. And then I was like, all right, who thinks Strain can go out and get one? People get cheered, did Bollinger, went through the whole thing. It's like I said, who thinks Ben Kelly's going to go out and get one? And it was like crickets. And that was the first thing I said into the microphone. Like everyone, it's the whole entire AM race sitting there on the starting line. So like a lot of people, everyone's sitting there looking at me. And I was like, did you guys forget already like what he did? Like he came out 1-7 straight.
Well, and part of that is, has Ben Kelly ever done a Mideast?
No.
Yeah. So, and majority of the guys have, right? So
At some point.
yeah. So you got to think that might have something to do with it too.
Yeah. But still.
But yeah, I think he'll. You know, he had last year to kind of rebuild. You know, so yeah, why not?
And then Stu, I know we talked about him a lot already. We talked about the fan favorite thing. He is another guy that would not, and that's the cool part about being a race fan right now, is we could go through 9 different riders that if they won, you wouldn't be shocked. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to make for a really exciting season for all of us as race fans. But you look at Stu, and it's like last year, it's like, did he have too much on his plate? Building a house, having a baby, managing a team, that whole thing. Now he's got a team manager. And I work closely with him and Sipes on all this stuff. So, like, I see how much has been delegated to Sipes and how much Sipes has stepped up to do. And it's like, how much of an effect will that have on Stu's racing personally? Because now he doesn't have to babysit. He doesn't have to order parts. He doesn't have to make sure everyone's got gear. He doesn't have to make sure everyone's suspension's good. He can kind of leave the race day stuff to Ryan, and he can focus on himself. Mm-hmm. So last year, Stu didn't have the results that everyone expected, and that what Stu has been accustomed to. He had a couple wins, but outside of that, like, wasn't down to the wire for the championship like we would expect. I think this year could be different. Now that he has the extra motivation in having the kid, he has the extra motivation in having the factory race team. He's got factory level support that he didn't have last year, and he's also got more people. He's got more pros under his tent, which can't be easy, but he's got more people to help him out with that. So I think he's another guy that could come out and dominate, could surprise everybody.
I bet, but would it be a surprise?
No, it wouldn't.
I don't think so.
I don't think Caleb would either.
Yeah, we're just have to go agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah. You got Strang in his 19th season.
Yeah, and now he's in the situation that Stu was in last year. He doesn't own the team, but he's the team manager. He's ordering parts. He's setting up truck drivers and mechanics and making sure bikes are ready to go. And he's in charge of that beta program.
But he also has a paycheck and factory support.
Yeah.
So I mean that also alleviates some of the stress. But yeah, I mean those guys going to their first GNCC this weekend. Mm-hmm. Like that's got to add some stress.
And it's gonna be a mudder.
Yeah. But Strength's good in the mud.
Yeah, but the guys being their first GNCC and it being a mud race, might have to throw a hand and help them boys out this weekend.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how well he does now that he's had more time on the beta, got comfortable on it, and like I said, now has the factory support, has everything you can need or want, and doesn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. He does have to worry about the team and that kind of thing, but as far as like getting to the line, being prepared, knowing that you have everything, he doesn't have that worry because he's got the factory support. So I think he's in store to have a few good runs in him this year too.
Yeah, and it's just like we said last time we did the shows. I said it to Josh straight up. I was like, just like kind of like Ben, like you're due for another strong season.
Yeah.
And those guys have, especially Josh, he's always bounced back from a rough season with a good season.
Yeah.
Whether that's getting at least a win or fighting for podiums or whatever, just being up there. So
This stinks going down the list because we're inevitably going to miss somebody. We're not going to talk about someone. Someone's going to be upset. But there's so many storylines. We've been going on 2 hours. We both got to get up early. Realize how late it's getting. But there's just so many storylines going into this because you got what if Grant Davis wins more overalls? What if Josh Toth wins more overalls? Liam Draper, he took a step up to where he got to now. What if he takes another step up and all of a sudden he comes out winning races? Wachowski made the step up to a top 5 guy. Can he make it to a podium guy? Yeah. Same thing with Evan Smith. Yeah. Made it to a top 5 guy. Can he make it to a podium guy?
And we hadn't even talked about Craig or really Ashburn at all, or Thad.
Yeah.
Other than the team stuff. But.
What if Caleb is the spark that Thad needs, and all of a sudden we got Thad and Caleb 2017 again?
Now, you don't lie. Would you be surprised if that happened?
I'm torn, dude. I'm such a fan of everybody. And, dude, Thad's one of my favorite people. Not racers, but people.
On.
Dude.
You telling me you would not be surprised if we go to Big Buck and Thad and Caleb are 2 minutes ahead of the field on the first lap?
That would surprise me.
Okay, thank you.
That would surprise me.
Thank you.
But Thad's back on a big bike. Did a year in XC2. Rang that thing's neck. Had some glimmers. Bike blew up. Before that, he was hurt. I'm just saying, it's not unrealistic for Thad to come out and get a couple podiums.
No, it's not. But it is unrealistic for Thad and Caleb be 1-2 like they were in 20.
That was a hypothetical.
Whatever, 2 minutes ahead on the first lap.
Could happen.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, no. Obviously being facetious by saying that. But, no, it's just, there's so many. Ricky Russell winning races. But now he's on a 250 on the front row. How's that going to be? Worked out all right for Sumpter. What?
He's going to get smoked.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Do they even have a big tank for that bike?
That's a good question. That's actually one of the questions in the comments.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have
Nobody knows.
Dude, there was probably 7 or 8 Triumphs at Mid-East this past weekend.
Was there?
I was pretty surprised about that. There was 3 on one row. I couldn't believe it.
Did they have big tanks?
No. There might not be one that exists. But, hey, Caleb won a bunch of races on a 250, so it's not unrealistic to do it on 250, but you do have to have a big tank.
Yeah.
Or you'll be pitting every 2 laps.
Yeah. Sorry, Ricky.
All right. Well, what other previews do we have going into the weekend? We don't know who's racing XC3.
Nope.
XC2 is going to be a battle between Gus, Toth.
We said that last year, too. And
who are we forgetting? Who's not coming to mind in XC2? Oh, Nick DeFeo.
DeFeo. Yeah.
What if he goes out and sets the world ablaze? Could happen. Seen crazier things.
So, this whole conversation got started about predictions, and we ain't made the slightest prediction yet. So
I wish I could remember what I forgot that I was setting up the thing about Caleb. So I feel like an idiot.
What's your top 3
for the weekend or the year?
For the weekend.
I don't want to do this.
Come on.
I don't want to.
Come on.
What's your top 3? You tell me.
I ain't scared. No, I asked you first.
I'm a little scared.
Why?
Because, dude.
Nobody listens to this shit.
True. You have a point.
Just why don't you?
There's just so many wild cards.
Yeah. Put all the wild cards on the podium.
What do you think? I don't like making predictions. I hope they all have fun, and I hope they can all win. All right?
You're so politically correct. I think I think your podium's Johnny, Stu, Ben.
I think that is a safe 3 to put on the podium.
Okay.
Could change the order around.
What's your prediction? What's your podium? Overall podium. Johnny, Stu, Ben for me. Let's write it down. I'm putting it in my notes. We're going to put $1 on it. Come on.
I'll go
Big Buck podium. $1 bet. Thomas. Johnny.
It's tough. I wish I had more
Stu,
information on Caleb Russell
Ben.
and the state that he is or is not in.
What's your podium?
Just days after his 35th birthday.
I'm holding it to you. We're going to be here all night till you tell me your top 3.
I don't like predicting. I'm going to go. I don't want to say it. Stu, Ben, Johnny.
So we have the same 3 on the podium.
Oh, I said that.
Okay. Stu, Ben, Johnny. There you go. $1 bet. I want my $1 signed next Monday.
See, it's tough for me to say that.
Or
because
Tuesday.
I've been a big Johnny believer the whole time.
And you didn't even...
I think the past several years I predicted Johnny as the champion. So then last year when he won it, I walked up to him.
So you do like predictions.
Like, I want you to know
So you do like predictions.
that I've gotten so much flack for picking you every year. I'm glad you finally got it done.
So what about XC2?
I liked predictions before my livelihood depended on this. Now it makes it a little muddy waters.
Well, you got a Yamaha, Dylan. Didn't put the Yamaha guy on the podium.
Oh, Liam hasn't.
Yeah,
has an unbeaten streak.
yeah. See, you
Hold
messed
on.
up. Nope.
I changed my mind.
Nope. It's in the notes.
See, this is what's hard is getting put on the spot. Because Liam's never not been on an XC1 podium his entire career. Matter of fact, probably neither is Caleb. Obviously he has, but not very often.
Not a lot. Which is, his stats are insane.
What was it, a 89% podium rate?
Yeah, something stupid.
Caleb's going to be on the podium.
No. It's too late. You done made your prediction.
No, Caleb's on the podium.
Ah.
Everyone wants to make fun of me for being a Caleb fan. He's going to be on the podium. I just would, if Carolina
So what's your podium?
If
Caleb,
Carolina XC shoulder injury did not happen,
Caleb, Liam,
there wouldn't
Evan
be a
Smith
doubt
for
in
the
my
podium
mind.
for you.
Yes.
That's what you should have said. You really just dropped the ball on that one.
No. I mean, that's part of the thing. It's like, I'm me. That's all I can be. You know what I mean?
What else we got?
If any of those 3 are not on the podium, it is not from their equipment.
What about
All right.
what about the women's podium? You want to predict that?
Dude, Rachel and Brandy is going to be tough. And Corey Steed was the one that was in the mix last year before all of it. But now Rachel Gutters done clicked up a gear.
And Taylor?
Taylor's coming back.
Taylor motherfucking Jones.
Taylor won like Open A at FTR over the offseason.
On a
Like,
250?
Went
She ran a
racing
450?
dudes. Yeah, I guess. I don't
On a
know.
450?
I don't know. Probably a 250, I would imagine. But TMFJ could come back. I think Taylor will take a couple races to get back. Like we saw her to finish out the last year, and obviously she's been training stuff for the summer.
we're really about to get into this. So you think Taylor will take a couple races to get back into it after she was the legend woman racer that she was, but you don't think Caleb will take races to get back into it?
That's correct. That's what I'm saying. Because
predictions. That's
the
a bold
girls
prediction t-shirt.
The gap between the girls is much bigger than the gap between the guys. And Taylor was the one progressing all the girls forward for that time period that she was there. When she won all 3 series 3 years in a row, she was the one pushing the pace. And now
Caleb wasn't pushing the pace when he won 8 years in a row?
I'm getting to that. But I feel like there was there was a bigger room for progression on the girl side of things than there was the guy side of things. So Caleb was pushing the pace for the guys, and now there's more people at that level. I think Caleb can still ride at that level. He's just got more competition up front to do it.
So you don't think Taylor can ride at the level that she was at, that the women are at now?
I'm saying that the women have progressed past that level.
And you don't know that Taylor can make that up?
I think that it'll take her getting back out on the track and seeing that new pace. I don't think anyone is physically going faster than Caleb was before. I think the girls are going faster than Taylor was before.
That makes sense.
Because, like I said, there was more room for the progression on the WXC side. And I think Brandy and Rachel and Becca and Corey and all these girls have pushed that pace.
I'd agree with that.
Thank you. Because you seem skeptical to start. I was just trying to get there.
Yeah, I was a little skeptical. Didn't know where he was going.
But, yeah. I'm going to go. I think Rachel and Brandy split wins last year. And I didn't realize it until the Caselli Cup came out this year, the top 25 off-road riders in the world. I help out with that each year. And so when they called me to talk about it, and we talked about putting Toth at number 1 and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't realize until then because I noticed that it always comes up like West Coast versus East Coast, what matters more. And a lot of times East Coast gets the edge because of GNCC. Well, then it came up with like Brandy and Rachel, and Brandy finished better at ISDE, but Rachel won the GNCC championship, but Brandy won the Sprint Enduro championship, and Rachel won the National Enduro championship. So it's like they were all pretty even, but Rachel had the GNCC championship, but Brandy had ISDE. But then the one thing that he brought up to me is like they had the same amount of wins. I was like, excuse me? And I didn't realize that at the time. But Rachel and Brandy tied in GNCC wins last year. I knew that the racing was close, and they were always together, and Brandy won a lot more races up north than I thought she would. But I didn't realize that they split wins. And so that makes it tighter in my mind going into this season.
Yeah.
And I don't know Brandy well. I know Rachel really well. And she's got that dog in her. So, like, I think I give her the edge just because, like I said, I know her better. And, I mean, she's won 3 straight. So, I would say Rachel, Brandy, Corey.
Rachel, Brandy, Corey.
What do you think? But I hope all the other girls go just as fast and everyone can win and everyone has fun. I don't mean anything bad by anyone.
I'll say Rachel, Brandy, Taylor. Just to be different.
I can see it.
Have you looked at the YouTube chat?
Yeah.
No, JoJo's not racing XC2. He's racing 250A.
Yeah, I said that when you were in the bathroom.
Oh.
I do think Deegan might win. Big buck. Dude, so how about Mook Dog? I make it a point to not talk about Supercross and motocross. The fact that Mookie got his first win and the fact that Tomac broke his fibula and still raced in the main.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Sick.
Yeah. That even got a String sent me that today. It's pretty hard to get see String give people props.
Yeah.
And he sent that to me and said, that dude's tough.
Good on the cunt.
Yeah. But Mook Dog, man.
So
that's my boy.
So I got back from Hawaii. We flew overnight Thursday, landed Friday, couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Slept from like 2 to 5, got up at 5, went to Mideast. And so by the end of the Mideast, 2 days not sleeping, I conked out, like in the heat races.
That fixed your jet lag.
No, not that day. Took another day. Okay. But anyway, so I'm getting there. So fell asleep during the heat races, trying to watch Supercross at Mideast. Fell asleep, woke up at like 12:30. Look at my phone, and I just see the group chat just Mook Dog, Mook Dog, Mook Dog. I was like, what happened? So like 12:30, I opened up my phone. I started rewatching the race, and I watched it, and then I ended up being up till 5 o'clock in the morning that morning. So it did not fix my jet lag. But then I came home the next night and slept for like 12 hours. Now I'm good. But yeah, I was, and then a guy got mad at me at Mideast because I accidentally spoiled it on the microphone because I was pumped and spoiled it for them. But it got spoiled for me. I saw all the Mook Dog things, and everywhere I looked, it was Mookie winning. So
Man,
that was pretty sick.
You posted that picture of you and him at a Supercross.
Yeah, Daytona.
I got a similar picture. We were in Atlanta after the Atlanta Supercross one year. He was on 450s at this point. And we were at some club. God, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I was on one, and I made my way up into this like VIP lounge area upstairs.
Yeah.
Just walked right past the security guard, past the ropes, and as soon as I walked in, I get a call from the boys. They were like, "Hey man, Uber's here. Like, we're getting in. Come on." And I was like, "Dude, I'm standing up here with Mookie. Let me get a picture and I'll be out there." And so I had my phone out, and I walked up to Mookie, and I said, "Hey man, can we get a picture together?" And he said, "No." And I put my arm around him. I took a selfie. I said, "Too bad." I gotta find that picture. He is not thrilled. And
he said no.
You know what? Charlotte S. I'm gonna find that picture. I'm gonna print it out. Take Charlotte SMX and have him sign it.
Or take a picture of him holding that picture.
Yeah, and have him sign it.
That would be funny.
I'm gonna do that. I gotta find that. It's gotta be on my laptop, my old laptop.
Yeah.
It's not my camera roll.
That'd be worth digging up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, we were at Daytona, and it's kind of different saying this as a member of the media now. I've been to Daytona like 5 or 6 times. I've never paid. But last year I had a legit media credential. But we ended up getting down like in the riders area. But then right after the race was over, we just walked through actually, no, it might have been Atlanta. The picture might have been Atlanta, actually. Anyway, whatever the case, we just walked up the tunnel where the dirt bikes rode. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it was Atlanta because it was through the tunnel and, like, across the street. And just
old Georgia Dome.
Yeah. Everyone was, like, breaking everything down and walking around. And I saw him over there. And I went up to him and just started talking to him because he's on, like, if you go to Dick's Sporting Goods, there's, like, 10-foot tall photos of Malcolm Stewart on,
really?
like, Abu Garcia ads.
Okay.
It's a real company.
Yeah.
For fishing, and he's big time fisherman. Like he even said in his post race press conference.
Fishing.
Yeah, but so I walked up to him and started talking to him about the Abu Garcia stuff, and then we just started talking fishing. And like he started asking where I fished, I started asking where he fished, and we sat there and talked for like 20 minutes, like never even mentioned a dirt bike.
Yeah,
we just talked about fishing.
That's cool.
And then I was like, dude, you mind if I get a quick picture? So I don't know, it's just a cool story behind that picture.
But he was cool with your picture.
Yeah.
He was down with it. Yeah. He
He
wasn't happy with mine.
You just got to talk fishing first.
Yeah. No, there was. I wasn't even thinking about fishing.
Yeah. No.
I was like, too bad. I swear to God, that's exactly how it went. How I remember that, I don't know because. Oh man, they told me they was like, dude, we called you and like 30 seconds later you were out here like hopping in the car. How the hell did you get out? Because this place was packed. I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to get left.
Yeah.
I said, but I had to get a picture of my. I was like, look at this. Look at this.
Look
at I gotta find that. I gotta find that picture.
All right. Well, we went over 2 hours. We talked about a lot of stuff. You got any closing words?
See everybody this weekend. I'm going no matter what. I ain't scared.
I'll be there.
I ain't scared. You scared that Tesla can get stuck in the mud?
Nah, dude. I passed trucks stuck in the mud. That thing's all-wheel drive, big old wide tires, heavy.
I tell you what.
Skates over it.
Let's do some donuts in that thing.
Let's not. I gotta get new wheels. Then we can.
Put some all-terrains on it and lift that.
That's what I am.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lift it, but I'm putting all-terrains on it.
Really?
Yeah. It's got 21s. I'm getting 18s with all terrains. Off-road Tesla.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we'll be down at Big Buck this weekend. We'll be representing the Blue Crew. Big thanks Yamaha coming on board. Anyone listening from Yamaha, the shows will get better than this.
What do you mean? This is a great show.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Loose.
Yeah. But no, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, Tom. Thanks for coming over. We will see you next Tuesday to talk about all of our predictions and how they ended up.
Wait, hold on. What happens if none of these three, if neither one of us are right? Closest one? Like if we get, well, we had the same riders. Oh, we didn't think this through.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that at the time.
I tell you what, let's do $1 prediction for the podium for every race. And every race we don't get it right, the dollar adds.
The exact podium?
Yeah.
That's going to be tough.
At the end of the year, somebody might lose $13. That's it. Let's do it. That sounds fun.
All right. I don't even know what my official podium pick is anymore.
It was the first one you said. It's the one I wrote down.
Oh.
No,
What if Evan Smith wins?
What if he'll win? He'll be the points that have white plates in Florida if he goes to Florida. He might not even show up in Florida.
Craigie D might do it again. Jordan Ashburn. Jordan Ashburn's been training in Florida.
Yeah. Watch out. Bollinger be there. Josh.
Do it.
Strain.
You know what? Big Buck is a good location for people to get their first wins at.
I tell you
Happens
what.
a lot.
What happens if an XC2 rider wins the overall at Big Buck?
I wouldn't be surprised. Josh Toth in the mud?
Yeah.
Who says no?
Not I.
And that's the great thing is there is no telling what could happen.
It'll be good.
14 different people have the potential to win this race.
I tell you what, if it's going to be muddy, I'm excited to watch some foolers climb that hill in the mud.
That'll be slick.
Yeah, it's dog shit. Speaking of, I think your dog's got to go take his shit.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Be a friend, tell a friend. Let them know about the podcast. Thank you, Big Tom.
T-Shep, let the dogs out.
Appreciate it. Y'all be looking out for video coverage this weekend, social media coverage this weekend. We got a couple ideas, a couple more different video ideas that are going to be coming out. Plan to be working on that. And, yeah, as always, Raw Race recaps, the originals, on the Pipe Podcast. YouTube.com/On the Pipe Podcast. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you.
Peace out.